A hail head, protector of the realm.
MakingStarWars.net.
Hey, Internet. I'm Jason Ward from MakingStarWars.net. Who are you?
Maxendo.
How's it going, Max? How are you?
Feels okay.
Did you like the two-parter we got tonight?
Yeah, I did. They're a lot better.
Yeah, I was on Santa's show this morning
Mm-hmm.
when we were fighting it out, man. We were like, "No, you
I
shut
was
up." It's
I
like,
was
"No, you
listening.
shut up."
I was listening.
Yeah, it was fun, and it was
Mhm.
like the whole thing was my big critique though was what's Omega fighting for? Why is Omega in this? What's her
Mhm.
point? What does she want? And as
Yeah.
a character, that's important stuff to track why you care.
Mm-hmm.
And so for the first time, which I'm going to be critical of it, it's good that they said it, and I'm happy that they finally said they destroyed Camino, they fucked up my planet, and I'm angry. Cool,
Mm-hmm.
good. And it's like I kind of think this they clearly wanted to do a bunch of fun Indiana Jones episodes and stuff like that. And then they
Uh-huh.
couldn't really have that scene and then have those episodes. They couldn't reconcile it. So
Mm-hmm.
what they did was strange. It's still a strange organization, I think. But I'm a bit happier for the character now that Omega, like, we see some kind of purpose.
Mm-hmm.
At least one lane
Yeah.
of purpose. The one lane is I like to have space adventures
Mm-hmm.
with these clone dudes, right? The other lane is I want revenge for Camino. Fuck those guys. That's fine.
Who's Elaine?
No, a lane, like an avenue.
I know.
Sorry, it's late, Max. You can't be too dry this late. You'll chafe.
I'm not
Um,
dry.
but yeah, the first episode we got old Senator Chuchi back. Remember old Chuchi? She
Yeah,
was all
and
up. Yeah,
I had a feeling that she was going to be paired up with Omega
yeah.
just because of their accents.
hmm They do have those
Is that
frame.
is that wrong of me to say?
I mean, it says something about your racism, but I mean, it's cool. No, I'm kidding. No. I mean, it was pretty. I think it was kind of obvious that she was gonna get the Anakin Skywalker Senate tour.
Mm-hmm.
That we assume he got in Phantom Menace.
Yeah.
Um, but we start off with the clones at the bar. They know something's up. One is it's not sitting right. What's been going on? One of them is having some guilt and
Mm-hmm.
a little bit of post-traumatic stress after what they did on the
Mm-hmm.
Venator with Rampart's Venator, and tries to defect and then gets assassinated.
Yeah.
And one of the little scoops that I had for the season, from some stuff that we heard, was that it was going to move towards Death Troopers.
Yeah.
Was that I'm wondering if this is as bold as it's going to get this season, but when you clearly saw the prototype of a Death Trooper,
Mm-hmm.
that clone assassin, he's the first. He's like the lamest version of a Death Trooper we're going to get. I mean, look cool still. He kind of remember the battle droids that were like the assassin droids, like the assassin version of the battle droids?
That
I
were
don't remember
bigger and
exactly. They
more.
have like the ninja
Yeah, they're
ones.
bigger.
No, not
Oh,
the
yeah,
super
yeah,
battle,
yeah, 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 yeah,
like the skinny super battle droids.
yeah.
Yeah, like he kind of had that, like it was mixed with the stormtrooper kind of going on.
Mhm.
And I was like, okay. I was like, that's like pretty cool. And then later on we get it revealed that he's a clone inside there. What? Have they found you? Are they coming for you?
No, Mohawk's gonna.
Oh, Mohawk is feeling frisky.
Come here. Uh-oh. Hold on.
Max is
Stop.
the cat's like, what? What are you gonna do about it? But so yeah, well, I mean, hey, he's mad. I mean, that ending.
Let me be. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Or mute me or something.
Okay. Anyways, yeah, so we have Senator Chuchi comes back from the Clone Wars, and for all intents and purposes, that did feel like a Clone Wars episode. Somebody said earlier on the other episodes that was like a Clone Wars episode, and I was like, cosmetically, yes. This episode, the first one tonight, spiritually, I feel like was a Clone Wars successor. That feels like the same show. It feels like it lines up with it. Of course, the Bad Batch and Omega aren't even in it, which has a little bit to do with that. And that's not a slight. That's just the fact that like it was like Clone Wars characters. Senator Halle Bertoni is back, and which is a homage to Halle Burton, which was the war profiteers from the Iraq War era of the United States. That's what they're calling back on. I was kind of surprised they actually brought her back, but man, she's just a piece of shit, isn't she? Just a big old piece of shit. And hey, thank you for becoming a channel member, Windu. Appreciate it. And Baymax, also a channel member. I appreciate it, dude. And yeah, I'm up late. My sleep schedule is jacked. I was on sick meds all day. Made me like pass out. I did Santa show, did like 3 cups of coffee with those meds, and I still went to sleep. The coffee didn't help. But anyways, back to the old review. Halle Bertoni's like, yeah, we were siphoning those funds. We were going to Space Vegas. We were buying flat screen plasma TVs with deep players. We were watching Fast and the Furious in 480p. But yeah, so anyways, a couple of deep cuts with Halle Bertoni and back. And Murphquake says, look, Jason, those were supposed to be suppositories. The coffee too. How you tell me? But yeah, so anyways, the first episode was like a lot of just exposition, but intriguing exposition that I actually liked. And then so it was really smart to do the 2-parter on this by Disney Plus to put these two together, because ultimately like both episodes benefit from being placed together tonight. Yeah.
Did you you guys predicted that they were going to be on Coruscant, right?
In our discussion today, we came to the conclusion that most likely they would go back to Coruscant. And we knew that because, we had that shot of Omega looking at Palpatine.
Yeah.
So
sorry.
It's okay. So we knew that it would go that way. We knew that they would end up there at some point. And then I said it didn't really come into play. Actually, it did come into play. I suggested today on Santa's show, I'm like, you know what? Season 1, if they made something, they reused it from Clone Wars.
Yeah.
In this first episode, they reused the sister's apartment hangar place that Ahsoka's friends who help her get off. And is that on level 1313? I don't actually know. I'm not sure, but I think they go down to level 1313.
I don't know.
Yeah, but I can't remember the characters' names. But it's like two girls. They were in those Clone Wars episodes. It's 1312. Are you just fucking with me, or did they really go that stupid? Did they really do that?
Yeah.
They did that, Murphquake. Murphquake. Don't play with me, Murphquake. You playing with me right now, Murphquake? You fucking around? Fucking up. We'll get Mohawk on you. Yeah, it was. Okay. Trace him
Yeah.
out. Yeah, Trace, yeah. Thank you. The Martez sisters 1313 says Jedi Might. But anyways, so we did see a Coruscant set reused. They did do it. Coruscant.
Yeah.
God, do you remember in the Phantom? Remember back in the day, we thought that's what it was called.
Mm-hmm,
And then in the beginning documentary, you can see little Jake Lloyd, and he can't stop saying it because that's what we used to say. And like, I don't blame him.
I never said that.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't.
So you read? Okay, did you read Heir to the Empire when it came out?
No.
Okay, fair enough then. If you read Heir to the Empire when it came out, you read that shit. You're like Coruscant.
Probably, but I didn't read that book until until when Disney bought.
Oh, okay. Way later. Okay. Yeah, like at that point in time, it was like a big deal. Timothy Zahn came out and he was like, George has decided to go with the French pronunciation. And I remember reading on like force.net, some stupid shit like that. Back in the day, I was like, oh, okay. It's fancy, huh? But yeah. So anyways, but having that planet, having Senator Chuchi, Halle Bertoni back, all of that stuff, it felt like a Clone Wars episode. Bell Organa's in it.
It did.
Yeah. Yeah. Bell Organa, nice touch. I meant to look to see if it was Jimmy Smits voicing him, but I don't know who was voicing Bell Organa. But it was Ian McDermott who voiced Palpatine. I was like, that's a really good Palpatine. And then I was like, oh, it is Ian. Yeah.
Oh, it is him?
Yeah. Yeah, it was old.
He said the whole, his last line was like, so evil.
Mm-hmm. I gotta say though,
I was like, ugh, really?
You know what
the
big letdown was for me in the second episode at the end though? Phil LaMarr was Bell. Okay, yeah, he was always him, so it makes sense in the animated shows. When he announces the Imperial Stormtrooper program, how the fuck did they not go Imperial March at that moment? That was like their one time that it was completely 100% appropriate for dun 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 dun. That was it. That's not Darth Vader's theme. I don't know who told them that. That's called the Imperial March. But it was.
I didn't even think of that. But that's a good call.
Yeah, I was like, the piece of music that they play is cool. It was sinister and it was good, but I was still like, man, that was your time. That was the one time to do it, I think. But maybe maybe they're saving it for when the actual stormtroopers do show up. And on Santa's show this morning in our heated discussion, I was like, my big critique has been, what is the point of the series? What is the point of the show? And I kind of did, like I told him today, I said, if I whiteboarded the show, what the fucking point of the season is, based off of everything we know, it's all about clones. It's not about Omega. She's our protagonist, but it's not about her. It's about the clones at large. And I think these two episodes made that seem right. Now, I might be wrong for the rest of the season, but I do feel like in totality, that's kind of what this middle point of the season said. This is about clones and who they are, and Omega's a clone. And one of the things that like I've been critical about the show and intrigued by is this idea that she's Boba Fett's sister. But as this last season, I was like, oh shit, Boba has a sister. That's interesting to Boba. But looking at Omega's journey now, she has like 1,500 brothers, and 6 of them, yeah, I mean, thousands of them. And then the ones that she has with her, the ones that she has with her on the ship, those are like actual family to her. So I don't think the Boba thing is actually that pertinent. It might be pertinent to Boba. He might see something in it, but I don't think she is going to necessarily buy into it in the same way, So a couple of lines of code are, they're both unaltered. kind of a so what to her, I think. But yeah, anyways, though, the Palpatine's plan, just to jump over really quickly to that, Palpatine's plan was pretty good. I mean, he had a plan B if plan A didn't work. Whole question is, was Rampart fucking up always part of the plan? Did they know it wasn't going to go according to that? But either way, it worked out exactly. Like, he was going to get what he wanted. He had it locked. And it was interesting to see the clones actually accept that and sort of admit that, like, this guy's always 3 steps ahead of us, I think he says at the end. And then at the end, we lose a member of the Bad Batch, which was also interesting. It was sad. I wasn't like in tears or anything on it. I didn't cry, but I was I think it was a little bit redundant. Echo and Tech. I think Max, I'm talking a little bit about how Echo and Tech are they're kind of the same character in a way.
Mm-hmm.
They functionally do the same thing, so you kind of don't need one if you have the other, I think, usually.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think it might have been wise to spin him into the Rex direction, and then that way, if they tell any stories there or whatever, you don't just have that one character who just doesn't really need to do anything because the other guy's doing it. And he was also like not he's not like a Bad Batch. He's not a mutant. He came to be unique in a different way. But I think it's not, I don't really think that's that important, but it is. And don't listen to Nick. Nick is a fucking liar. A fucking liar. I didn't cry. I didn't cry. Why do you keep saying I cried? I didn't cry.
Jesus.
Fuck. I just could have been miss him so much. He's got that fucking bald head and that Lobot hat. Sorry. You know how I feel about Lobot.
Oh my God.
I'm
so sorry.
Yeah, he's Lando's daddy. Lando's daddy Lobot. But yeah. But anyways, so I mean, in terms of like a two-parter though, we got solid calls back to the Clone Wars. We got calls into the future with the prototype of a Death Trooper. We got a fucking sweet ass Palpatine plan he was going to get what he wanted one way or the other. Both plans. You got 2 Palpatine plans really, and but the switcheroo Palpatine plan and one out. And like all of that stuff was fucking great. Putting Omega into it was a little bit forced. Like, oh, just come to the Senate floor with, like, I was kind of like, oh my God, okay, I'll roll with it. I'll fucking go with it. Okay. But it was kind of weird that, like, there's like, hey, there's this clone kid here. Oh, hey, but I'm curious about next week. Like, do we pick up? Do we start talking about what happens to clones, or do they just go back to hauling chicken nuggets and fucking off like this shit never happened?
It will suck if they just kind of go back to missions and like nothing else.
Yeah. I mean, like,
it better get better after this.
Yeah.
I mean, these two were good together, and it would be great if it continued, with more momentum of a story versus side missions and stuff.
I thought it was a little bit interesting too that they didn't. I thought there was a moment in the series or in when they were having the debate about like retirement for them. I think that was the moment to explain to general audiences or the Disney Plus audience that these guys age differently. Because like I wanted a line there where she said 10 years for you, or 10 is 20 years. You guys are going to be the equivalent of 50 years old in 10 years. What are you going to do? You're not going to be these troopers that you are right now. And so,
bitch, don't tell me I'm old.
Yeah, they kind of he kind of just like, I want to die on the battlefield, took her down to surgeons. Like, okay. Baymax says they've been recycling the shit out of that Godel and Bad Batch. She's everywhere. When they have such a rich library of assets from previous seasons, they should mix up extras a bit more. Yeah, I kind of was wondering something about that, about the actual like textures, because remember original Clone Wars was Thunderbirds are go wood painted. You could see like the brush strokes on them and stuff. I keep wondering if they have to like go and like repaint and retexture old assets in order to access them, or are they doing it and keeping them far away and I can't tell.
Mm-hmm.
But it does seem like there's a different kind of texturing and sheen, is that the right word, or gloss to them, and I think that might be that it might not be a freebie to bring in things from previous Clone War seasons, like how you would think on some of the extras. But I did like the Ishi Tib in the Senate who's like, "Hey, let's make fucking stormtroopers. Stormtroopers are fucking cool. Yeah, fucking stormtroopers. I'm all about these goddamn fucking stormtroopers." And then when the evidence come, the Ishi Tib goes. It was like the funniest animation to me. Like they were like, "What the fuck, bro?" But I was cracking up. Sometimes the Clone Wars style animation is so awkward that I like it. That it like wins me over, and it's like it's just so absurd. But yeah, and then like Dale just brought up Gungi and says this was an unfinished Clone Wars episode or arc. Same with Gungi. Yeah, they were like early proposed ones. Like the one from last week felt like a two-parter condensed into one episode with huge like scene jumps and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And this was an actual two-parter. Didn't feel disjointed. The editing was fairly on, unlike last week. Baymax says that Ishi Tib had less head flaps. Nice species variant. Baymax, I love you, but you're a fucking weirdo. Just to let you know, you're a fucking weirdo.
Head flaps.
Head flaps.
That sounds nasty.
No, I like that he actually fucking noticed that. He's all head flap variant. Very interesting. What do you call it? Yeah, the stuff with like in terms of like the greater galactic conflict, and then Omega herself. So her being able to see like there's a senator advocating for us, these people aren't. All of that, like, and then seeing Palpatine, seeing like the Senate and stuff like that, it kind of sets her. It does set her up to understand the world better, to understand exactly like, and then to become a leader in the Rebel Alliance as it goes on. And that was another question I had. Maybe the chat knows, but was the black woman who was in the Senate who was like backing up Chuchi? Is she the one? Is she the one who's one of the senator or the leaders from Rogue One?
The one that was during their little huddle meeting
in the Senate pod things when they're like.
And wasn't she wearing that like gold or that kind of?
Yeah, and I'm curious if she's the senator from Rogue One. Yeah, okay. So Baymax says she is from Rogue One. Yeah, I thought that was her. That's pretty cool. I like seeing that. That's cool to me. Frog Eater says, glad Senator Chuchi and Senator Bertoni got Rampart arrested, even if it meant pulling into Palpatine's hands. And now this means Crosshair is without a master. The Black Senator was from Rogue One, yes. Thank you. Yeah, cool. I like seeing that kind of stuff.
Me too.
The kind of connective tissue is fun. And so yeah, so I think Frog Eater brings up an interesting point though. Crosshair doesn't have a master now. So how, the question I have then, who takes over the Stormtrooper Death Trooper program? Because that's something I hear is like supposed to be happening in the show. And so is it Tarkin?
I have no idea.
Could it be our Death Star making friend Krennic? You know, like I'm
That would be
curious.
cool.
Yeah, I'm curious as to. I kind of go with. I could be wrong, but I feel like
You're wrong.
with as many
You're
people who got the episodes, I feel like if Krennic showed up, it would be like something that was out there. So I am leaning like Baymax into it probably being Tarkin. We had Steven Stanton in this episode voicing Masamita. I believe Stanton does Tarkin still. And so he's on the payroll, they got him there. Like, hey Stevie, hey Stevie S, how about you get in there and you do some Tarkin? And he's like, okay, that's how he says it. Okay. So yeah. And then Baymax says, what would be awesome for the Death Troopers is episode 15-16 would be animated Gideon. Ooh, the old Gideon showing up. Yeah, I wonder. Yeah, no, I kind of think like that stuff won't happen
Why?
because they don't not that they're going to, but what if in season 5 of Mando they just want to make it like, guess what, Gideon's actually good and he always was,
I
like
don't know.
weird stuff. Not that they're going to, but you see what I'm saying, like by putting him in there, the more they tell, the more that
Mhm.
show's locked into. So I could kind of see them just being like, nope, you can't touch Gideon until we have an end game for Gideon. Which they might.
Can't
I
touch
mean, for
it.
all we know, Gideon might die in season 3. We don't really know that he lives or dies. We haven't
Mhm.
heard. So, but it would be cool though, especially because Gideon, he wears that kind of black armor. He has Death Troopers. Like it does make sense that there is that connection there. But Gideon and Krennic got Death Troopers. Either of them, yeah,
Ugh,
yeah, and
sorry,
it's like so. Yeah,
my contacts are bothering me.
pull out your glass eye.
No.
Come on, Sandy Duncan, you can do it.
Does she have glass eye? Does she have a glass eye?
Yeah, Sandy Duncan. I'm Peter Pan. I have a glass eye. Mm-hmm. But Dale suggests that might be why Mando overlaps with the Bad Batch. Is anybody saying that Mando does, or are you saying that could be how it happens? Because and so does Dedra. Yep, true. And I feel like Dedra is one who can't show up because this is like year 1 and we have Dedra around year, what are we in, an Andor's like around 10, right? And she's kind of new. So she hasn't got the job yet. Right now Dedra's just like temping. She's like she's a working girl, she's typing. She's typing all the way up the Imperial ladder.
What if she's a waitress in like the cafeteria lady?
She's like, Dex, I'm not going to be serving here forever. I'm going to lead really evil stuff someday. And he's like, make pancakes. Yeah, Dedra would be lower ranked at that time. But later on, she gets a couple of Death Troopers. That's true. It is right. You're not wrong, Nick. And I didn't cry. I didn't cry, Nick. You're lying. So yeah. Yeah. You have any other thoughts, Max? Anything on your brain that we haven't hit or that you want to hit on?
No, there was something it was little funny things here and there, but I didn't take notes, so I can't remember.
Okay, think about them. Tell us. Can you remember any?
I think it was in
Max. Sorry.
I think it was in the Senate scene. Somebody said something it seemed funny, or the way she said it. I don't know.
Where's the beef?
That's what it is. She said, "Where's the beef?" I can't remember.
Okay, if it comes to mind before we go, well, we just saw a lot of stuff, and I'm like, all right. Baymax says it'll be likely Tarkin, as Rampart was taking orders from Tarkin, and more importantly, they already got the Tarkin model made cheaper. Yeah, and like I'm with you. We have a connection. He's the the superior to Rampart, Steven Stanton, on the payroll. He's there. He could do it. And he's the best Tarkin. Actually, I kind of wish he had voiced Tarkin in Rogue One. But and then so there's a lot going for it. But also that there's a chance that we may just have a bunch of implication about the Death Trooper program, and it's gonna like it'll happen, somewhere out later. But I think that's gonna be Crosshair's fate. I think that's what it's moving towards. And there's also like little things about Crosshair, like his lenses are green, like the green details are already there in the mask. Like Santa pointed out, we have stormtroopers, the clone troopers are losing all their color, going purely to white. He's going purely to black, and then the Bad Batch is going all colorful. They're all like, every episode their armor's like painted up a little bit more, a little bit different. So yeah, it's cool. It's aesthetically, that stuff is all cool. It's all fun.
So do you hope that it also continues to get better?
Yeah, I mean, if like stuff like we got tonight is why I would love to watch the show. Like tonight's episodes, I'd give them like both like 8s, like a solid 8. Whereas the usual episodes have been like really around a 5 for me. That's why I kind of haven't been giving out, out of 10. Like,
well, okay, that was a stupid question. Not do you? Because obviously you would want something to get better. Do you think it will?
I know what you meant though. Yeah, that's what I'm hoping, because like right now there's a lot of intrigue. Once again, the show has intrigued me, and I'm like what's gonna happen now that they've got the stormtroopers like okayed, those proto stormtroopers that we keep seeing, like the inscripted stormtroopers. Well, they're gonna go official, and I think when they go official, they'll probably look more like the ones that we're used to, the ones from the films and Rebels and all that. And so I kind of think that there's a big opportunity for that reveal to be a big part in an episode. There's also the opportunity for what happens to those clones. Now we've always heard from the novels and stuff since around 2012, 2013, there was like a little blurb, and it was like, oh, the clones, I think it might have been in A New Dawn even. The clones stayed on, some clones stayed on as teachers and taught the Imperial stormtroopers. So basically, like, you're gonna, but when you look at a classroom, look at like a college classroom, or even the military, I guess that'd be a better thing. I don't know how much people are in a battalion, but when they're training them, when you see like on screen, when you see like when you watch like Full Metal Jacket or something like that, it's like 2 people for like 100 men, 100 soldiers usually, or something like that. It looks like that anyways. Visually, that's what it pretty much is. And so most of those clone troopers, they're going on unemployment if the Empire will even give it to them. So I don't think most of them are going to be able to stay on as teachers. Some will, sure, but most of them aren't. And as we saw in Obi-Wan Kenobi, we have that one clone with his like long hair. It's like, hey, can I have $1?
Yeah.
So, but Baymax says, Echo and Rex now Fulcrum agents for Bell. Yeah, it would kind of seem like we're starting to see some of the early parts of that.
Of a rebellion.
But also, like, I would need to brush up on some of my Rex history, but he does end up on that walker out on that planet with his 2 brothers, just hanging out. So
did Commander Cody defected, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, some people theorized he died and was killed by Rampart. I don't believe that. I don't think that they would show us one guy dying and then not show Cody die.
They said he defected, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
well,
that's good.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they did. I'm pretty sure they did.
I thought that they did.
The one died and was like, what they called him AWOL.
Yeah.
They said he was AWOL. Yeah.
Or a-hole.
Something like that. A-hole. Yeah, I think that's right. I think you're right. I think they said a-hole. But that's how the Empire is these days. A-hole this, a-hole that. Don't shoot a proton torpedo down the a-hole. It'll blow up the space station. That's I think you could quote that to Galen Urso.
True.
Emotional evolution does confirm that yes, it was AWOL. Hey, it's 1:39 in the
AWOL.
morning, so thank you for the help, emotional evolution. I appreciate
It's
it.
3:39 o'clock for me.
Man, you're crazy. What are you doing? Staying up with these weirdos? I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Y'all are fun.
Absent without official leave. He's on that planet from Andor with the beach planet. Having a good time.
The vacation planet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Picking up chicks, talking about how he one time he threw Boga down a hole. Stuff like that, you know.
Exactly.
Women love to hear when you throw Boga down a hole. Yeah, Niemos. Thank you. See, emotional evolution, you're my recall. You're like I need that like chip thing that what's his name has, and then you'll just tell me things when I don't know. I think that's our friendship now. But yeah, I mean, but all in all though, pretty happy with this. I'm glad we stayed up. We were debating about staying up, and I was like, I heard these ones were good. We should stay up. We should stay up this time. And
Yeah.
Max is always down to party, so
Of
she's like,
course.
cool.
Party
And then,
time.
yeah. So I'm glad we did.
I was in Austin. You said, I was like, okay.
Yeah, I was like,
Sure.
what are you doing in Austin? I'm like, you want to watch Star Wars? All right, let's do it.
Let me go home.
Yeah, and then Bell Organa had a cool R3 droid. Yeah, so I mean, this is just me nitpicking, but like everyone's supposed to be like being like all secret. They didn't want to build like a new set, so they just have that one clone trooper just like hides out in the alley all day. Like he was just there for like days, like in that alley. He's just like chilling, like oh, and then when Chuchi meets Bell Organa, they're like, oh, I'm gonna whisper for a second, then I'm gonna start talking really loud. Like I was just like, you guys are crazy, but it comes off crazy, and it's fine because it's a different medium. But I'm just laughing at the fact this is all the same universe. In like, you know, Andor, they're all like, "Oh, what are the prices of guitar picks? So I need you to go and do some shit for me, okay?" They're like, you know, doing all that stuff. And in this one, they're just like, oh, hey, let's talk really loud. But I'm gonna guess that Senator Chuchi, she's gonna get caught.
Hey, do you rewatch these every day? I mean, every week? Like when they
they're
come out, do
good,
you rewatch it again?
when they're good, I do. When
Okay.
To be clear, I rewatched every episode of Clone Wars and Rebels, and then when I got to Resistance, I was a one and done.
I
was
didn't
good.
even get that far.
I was good. And then on these ones on season 1, I rewatched some of them of Bad Batch. I rewatched some, not all. And then this season, I haven't really done very much rewatching. And I used to kind of have it made in the shade in the sense that my kids would watch it. So I might stay up. They can't stay up. Then I would watch it with them on the second viewing, and it would kind of like help me kind of like, you know, see when they're amused and stuff. But those early episodes were just boring the shit out of my kids. And my kids quit. They're like, Dad, we're out. We would rather watch anime. I'm like, fair enough. Hey, you know, you don't have to watch it for me. So I told them, you know, if you don't like The Mandalorian when it comes out, you're not my kids anymore. And I don't know you. And you need to find a new place to live. But on this one, I'll give it to you. So I told them. So.
Yeah, I haven't rewatched. I think maybe a couple of episodes. This one I'm gonna rewatch.
Yeah.
It was good.
Yeah.
They're good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, the Gungi one I rewatched also.
Yeah. It was nice seeing Gungi again. I did not appreciate the execution though. I love Gungi. Poor Gungi.
He didn't die.
No. Well, I mean, no, but things went bad for Gungi. He had a bad time.
Oh yeah.
He had a bad time. You know, I'm not saying he's dead. Just, you know, they lit the forest on fire, and then they just said, "Oh well, fuck it." They just left. They're all sorry. Disney says we can't afford this. Oh well, bye. The forest is on fire.
It's so sad.
I mean, they could have just had it smolder a little bit and said, "Oh yeah, the forest is controlling the burn." I don't know, but yeah. But so, what Baymax says, "Fuck Gungi, we got a Gonki sighting." Nah, man, nah, I'm Gungi. I'm
I love
Gungi.
country.
I'm Gungi 5000 over here.
I love
That's what we
country.
call it, Gungi 5000. That's our new podcast.
Little
Um,
gunch.
Tim with his adorable dog says Gungi needs his own show. But what I do like about the story at the moment is that like we have Omega. She mentioned Gungi tonight too, but by the way, which I thought was nice that it was like she was meditating because he taught her how. I figure somebody's gonna go like, oh, that means she's a Jedi now. It doesn't mean that at all. And I think they like thoroughly addressed it. They thoroughly said, no, he just taught her how to meditate. It's not the same for her as him. It's different. She's not like
Everyone can meditate.
anybody can meditate, and she'll probably get better at it, and she'll have a good time. But he, Gungi, when he does it, he's like floating and shit. You know what I mean? Like little Wookiee turds are like floating around his head and stuff. Like he's because he just shits everywhere, right? You know
I
that,
heard
right?
that they're big. I heard. I didn't. They're not
Yeah.
little.
Yeah,
They're
no,
big.
they're like massive dog shits, and he just shits all over the place. And when he was in the Jedi Temple, like there were like little service droids that would come and clean up the shit. But now since Order 66, those droids are not on the payroll. So when you invite Gungi over, he just shits all over the place. He's shitting in the driveway, he's shitting in the street, in the crosswalk,
He's
in the
cute.
school, everywhere. And so it's a big problem. But anyways, but it's okay on Kashyyyk because it fertilizes the trees.
Kashit.
Kashits. Yeah. So that's what it's called when you do it. It's called kashitting.
Oh. Somebody. It sounded like someone said shit in the Senate.
Really?
Did you remember that? Yeah.
No, I didn't hear that.
Because I chuckled and I was like, it sounded like she said shit.
Yeah, Timmy knows. Gunji's just dragging his ass on the carpet. Yeah, he definitely does that. He definitely does that all the time. I mean,
His
you can't
worm.
tell on Kashyyyk, but
His
if you
worm.
look, yeah, he does have worms. But no. Anyways, the actual non-stupid ass point I was trying to make was now we have Omega, and she is really close to Bail Organa now. And when I say close, I don't mean like they're fucking going out to dinner and they're buddies, but he's in the periphery. She's in that world a little bit closer than she was before to the Rebel
They
Alliance.
love each other.
And then we have Gungi, who was a Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
So that line of stories is now open to her being to assisting in the Jedi Underground Railroad, the path, I think it's called in Kenobi. Like her being a part of that and being a helper in that is now accessible. Her helping clones get away, get to freedom or find new lives is also open to her, and those kinds of stories. So now we start to have more stories with like more meaning or whatever, more possibilities and shit like that. And we didn't have that before with her. It was just like, oh, what's a kaleidoscope? Shit like that. Like, whatever. Gunji's over here having to like clean up his own shit now. And you're worried about kaleidoscopes. So don't fucking waste our time.
I heard you
Omega.
call her a dummy when she said that.
Yeah, she's a fucking idiot. She really was fucking stupid when that point.
Cute.
That was the moment when I was like, you know what? Somebody needs to tell her you're being a fucking idiot. That's what they needed to say to her. But I'm kidding. It was just kind of dumb.
It was cute when she said, "And I'm angry" or whatever.
Yeah. No, I like that. I mean, I like the character. Tonight's episode though, tonight's two-parter, that moment, I'm glad it happened. It's good it was good for the character. It doesn't, but like I know Star Wars Santa, if he's watching this shit right now, he's all like, oh, see, I told you. I'm like, no, it doesn't excuse the previous 5 episodes. Two episodes of adventure, and then this is what it should have been. We should have had like 2, then we should have had this, and then we should have went in, because like it's a rich galaxy to play with. There's a lot of important things that it really probably aren't going to be touched on that they could be getting into, business that they could be, aligned with. And
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's like things that I mean, young Han Solo could pop up in these episodes. There's like things that are like fun that could happen if we want to just go dumb fun. I'm not a cameo person who needs cameos, but if you want to just go dumb fun, there's all these opportunities for that kind of shit. But I liked, the episode was called Truth or Consequence. But I like there to actually be consequences.
It should have been called Truth or Dare.
Oh, maybe when she's a little bit older, maybe she'll kind of get like a little bit of a gap going, and maybe she'll become like a space pop star,
Exactly. Mhm.
Yeah.
Omega, Truth or Dare.
Yeah. Like a Qui-Gon. Maybe. No?
Maybe.
Jin. So, all right. Well, oh, and then Baymax says Reva will just be waiting in the tunnel for them with her Beskar abdomen. That sounds right. That sounds right. Well, I think we did it, Max.
Yeah,
I think we did it. But I'm happy. You happy?
I'm very happy.
All right. Let's go rub our asses on the carpet, Gungi
You
style.
know what?
and
And you
call
know
it a
what
night.
made me even happier
Hmm.
is if more people watched my music video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have the link to your music video right now?
Mm-hmm.
Can you post it in the private chat, and then I'll post it in the chat?
Yeah.
That way people could look at Max Sandow.
It's a performance. Oops.
Nice.
Did I lose you?
No, I could see you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hold on 1 second. Hold on to your knickers means underwear.
Yeah, that's true. And that's why we call them Knickers McFrackery. Is that how you say your last name? Nobody knows. I heard you say it one time, and I was like, "What? What'd you say?"
So okay, the private chat. Oh wait.
Murfackery.
So how do I do? I see the chat and then I see comments.
So just go into private. There's a little tab for private chat on the bottom. Click that, and then I'll copy and paste it into the public chat. Unless you could paste it in the public chat yourself. I don't think you can though.
Okay. No. Well, let's see. Yeah, it says chat with everyone.
Okay. See if you can.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that the private chat?
Yeah, I got it. You gave it to me. There we go. Now I can put it in here. So this
So
is the link
you have to
to
watch
Max.
it in HD because
Watch that shit.
it's meant to be gritty.
Oh, so then watch it in like 1080i.
Yeah.
Kidding.
Yeah, there's a lot of Star Wars references. There's with my look, there's the Knights of Old Republic with the shoulder pads or the shoulders.
Also Delta
Then
Burke.
yes. And then the Night Sisters from the Clone Wars and Crimson Empire.
The like Royal Guard
Yeah.
kings, peoples.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I like them. I can't, but I'll try. Dale, do or do not. There is no try. You got schooled. Nick says I'm watching it in 144p.
No.
Nick, I am personally requesting that you download Real Player from 2005 and watch it on Real Player. Really go vintage with it. No? You sure?
It's
Okay.
very aggressive. This is the aggressive version, and then there's going to be like a really cool disco version, which is going to be light and lovey and stuff.
Yeah.
This is like the rough sex.
Yeah,
version.
I like that. Like Saint Vincent does that a lot, where they'll be like this song, and they're like, "Oh, okay," and then all of a sudden it's like a club song, but it still
Mm-hmm.
works because it's a good song, So
Mm-hmm.
it's able to just kind of jump to that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Nick, I bought QuickTime Player so I could download the Attack of the Clones trailers. They made you do that back then.
God, Real Player, they don't have that anymore, right?
Real Player? I hope not.
I just forgot. I just remembered when you said that.
Yeah. When was the last real player update? 2005? Probably.
I don't remember.
Yeah. Probably. Yeah. God, it kind of sucks. They added this thing in Windows Media Player and Real Player to
Mm-hmm.
like optimize your MP3s to it, and we had like recordings that my band did, and like my drummer had them and optimized them in those players, and those are the only the only versions that like exist, and it's like, oh, that sounds crappy. St. Vincent's is the hospital I went to paramedic school at, and also really good performer. Probably my favorite. I'd say St. Vincent is my Madonna, if that's
That's
fair.
cool.
Is that fair?
Yes,
Can I have my Madonna? Am I allowed?
of course.
Because it's St. Vincent.
And anyone talking shit about Madonna the way she looks, y'all need
Oh
to be
yeah,
nice. Shut up.
yeah. St. Vincent was hired to write songs for Madonna, and a lot of the
Mm-hmm.
songs that are on some of her records are songs that were written for Madonna that she didn't buy.
Really?
Like early on, some of the good
Oh,
songs too. Every now and then I'm like, Madonna, you fucked up, but it's cool because I'm glad because St. Vincent did a good job with them.
yeah.
But yeah,
And
all
I
right.
think that Mike asked in the chat a couple shows ago if I'm going to the concert. I am.
Oh,
I'm going to the
you're going
concert.
to the Madonna one in
Yeah,
New York City.
New York.
New York City
Yeah.
is get a rope. Remember the Pace Picani commercial?
Yeah.
Get a
Mm-hmm.
rope. I don't know. It sounds kinky or something. Merkley says, I prefer Vinny from Less Than Jake. I prefer Vinny from Doogie Howser. Gotcha. Anyways, all right, Max. Let's.
All right.
Oh, wait. Murphquake says, you're coming to New York City? Max is
Yeah.
coming to New York City. Gonna see
And actually,
Madonna.
while I'm there, I am gonna work on having a performance while I'm there. Might as well,
Oh,
right?
yeah, you should. And yeah, if you end up lining anything up, tell us and we'll
I
tell
will.
people if you want where they could come see you.
Absolutely. Yep.
I say it like the salsa commercial all the time. Yeah. I know that there's this like stupid dish I like on Christmas that my grandmother used to make, who's this, white lady
Tamales.
from the 60s,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just like Philadelphia cream cheese with like
Mm-hmm.
piece pecani sauce on it and some like horrible like tortilla chips, right?
Or wheat thins.
No, just yellow tortilla chips, like not good
Okay.
ones.
Uh-huh.
And I like it all to be the terrible kind. I like the paste pecani sauce with it. I like Philadelphia cream cheese and those kind of chips. And on
Mm-hmm.
Christmas, my dad's like, "Hey, I'll pick that stuff up." I'm like, "Cool." And he goes to like the taco place, like Taqueria by our house, gets like this like nice salsa for. I'm like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "This is the good stuff." I'm like, "That doesn't go. This is like 1960s shit white people food. That's delicious Mexican food. They don't go together, you know?" But anyways, I don't know why I shared that story, but I did.
Uh-huh.
Anyways,
I
all right,
think I've
Max.
eaten. I think I've eaten that before, though.
Yeah, it's good. It's like
I think.
it's like basic, but like that's for whatever reason, that's what I associate with like Christmas, like that and deviled eggs or something,
I
I'll
can
say
eat a lot of deviled eggs.
hmm
They're
Max
so
fuck
good.
Max will fuck
Shut
up
up.
some deviled eggs.
I will.
Mhm. All right.
And nothing happens. But
Yeah, Max doesn't totally get deviled egg farts. That's a lie, Nick.
shut up.
I don't. I don't get deviled egg farts when I eat like 6 deviled eggs, and people are like, "Hey, those were for everybody," and I'm like, "They're for me. They're for me now, losers." So,
All right.
but Max reveals her true talent. I love deviled eggs too. See, we all agree. All right, everybody. We'll see everybody next week. We'll probably do the show this show next week, the morning after. The
Unless we
hang
hear it's really good.
unless we hear it's super amazing and we should stay up. But it has it has been like fucking up my whole week, staying up all night to do it. I'm like, we shouldn't be doing this.
Remember that one day I texted you? I was like, "Are you tired?" And you're like, "Yeah."
I'm fucking dead. And like I'm the kind of person, like, once I'm sleeping, I could sleep, but I have a hard time falling asleep. Like, once I fall asleep, I'm done. I'm out. I'll see you tomorrow. But I have a hard time going to sleep.
It was just last week that I was really tired.
Mhm.
The other times, normally, I've started my day with like little sleep, and I've been fine.
Yeah.
I don't know why last week was. So that's why I was like, okay, sure, I'll do it during the day.
Yeah. Dale says, "May the force be with you always." That's the thing that they say in the Star Wars. May the force be with you. Go. Good night, bro. Shakes. I'm gonna go Gungi my ass on the carpet. There we go. Everybody, Gungi them asses on the carpet. We'll see everybody next week. Bye, Max.
Bye.
Night, Max.
Bye-bye.
It's the end of the show.
Come on, let's go. Hey!
It's the end of the show.
Come on, let's go. Hey!
It's the end of the show.
Come on, let's go. Hey!
You know you should go.
Come on, let's go. It's not about spaceships.